Here's another Ain't Big Ain't Clever educational video. This is one you can try at home. I'm going to show you how to change the cutting blade on a Bosch AXT 2000 HP garden shredder, which is the quiet model. The same instructions apply to other Bosch or Atco shredders that use the same helical blade. And here's the blade. The one on the right is the new one. The one on the left is the old one. A 1/4 inch thick steel bolt found its way into my branch bin, and the shredder tried to eat it. This is the result, and it meant the shredder would just spin instead of dragging stuff in to shred, which is what it normally does. These are the tools you need: a 10mm spanner or socket wrench, a Torx 20 screwdriver, a small flat blade screwdriver, a 5mm Allen key, and most importantly, a pair of circlip pliers. If you don't have any, you'll have to make do with whatever else you can rustle up and add an hour to the job. They make a big difference. First step, unplug it from the mains. Undo the 6 Torx screws holding the lid on and remove it. Most of the screws are the same on this job, so you don't have to worry about mixing them up. Now undo the 4 screws at either side of the control panel and, using the flat blade screwdriver, pop it free. Release the plastic bits at the top and the whole thing comes away. You can now unplug the control panel and put it to one side. Now it's time to remove the legs using the 10mm socket. Make sure you're taking the weight as you remove the last ones, then gently lower it to the ground. Now you can use 2 hands to lift it off its frame, which I'd recommend putting wheels up in case someone falls on it. 13 Torx screws, the same type as before, now need to be removed, followed by 2 Torx bolts, one either side. Once these are removed, you can pop the lid off. Here's a close-up of the rating plate on the motor. I don't know why it says 1800 watts on an AXT 2000. Perhaps it's because it's a reconditioned machine, I don't know. Anyway, you can now lift the whole mechanism out and put the plastic bits to one side. Using the Allen key, undo these 4 bolts and remove the outer chute. You are now able to lift out the inner chute and the base plate. Now tip the remainder of the mechanism over so that the fan is at the top. From here on, the top lid of the shredder makes an excellent stand. Undo the 3 Allen bolts, then wiggle the motor free. And here's the sight you're greeted with. Apparently Bosch also makes Swarfiga. The stuff doesn't appear to be harmful, but don't eat it. So pop the 2 circlips off with a screwdriver, remove the 2 cogs and put them on top of the motor. Now this is why you need the circlip pliers. If you don't have a set, use whatever pliers and screwdrivers you can get hold of to try and pull one edge of the circlip out and then peel it away. You'll also want to send any kids out of the room because the air is about to turn blue. I don't have circlip pliers, so to go from this to this took me exactly 1 hour. You'll need to be careful as well, as the edges of the housing may be sharp. As you can see, the blade is now loose, so you can remove the metal and plastic washers. These just lift off. Now we have another circlip, and this is bigger and stronger than the first one, but it's a lot easier because it's not covered in grease. I removed it by pushing it round to the flat section, then prising it outwards with pliers and peeling it off. That releases the smaller blade, and we're halfway there. Fit the small blade to the new helix, lining up the flat section, then ease the circlip into place using thumb pressure and a screwdriver. Once it's on, rotate the circlip so the ends are opposite the flat section. Now fit the plastic washer so that it bends away from the helix and the metal washer on top. Push the helix into the bell housing, fit the keyhole shaped cam followed by the gear holder, then push the circlip back into place, again starting at one end and working your way round. Now you can fit the gears and their circlips, then wiggle the motor into place with the bolt holes lined up and the cables facing forwards. Now you can wash the grease off your hands and tools and bolt it down. The base plate can now be fitted with the dished side facing away from you and the keyway lined up with the slot in the housing, as you can see here. Here's a chance to see the rest of the damage that bolt caused. The inner chute's got some quite nasty gouges on it. Anyway, the inner chute lines up roughly this way. It lines up with a slot on the outer chute, which can then be rotated into place and bolted down. The entry slot only goes on one way round, and it's this way round. Now the whole mechanism can be placed in one half of the outer case, with the fan above the plastic barrier and the cables going through their slot in the edge. The tabs on the entry slot go inside the case, not outside. But now you can fit the top half of the lid, install the Torx bolt, turn it over, then install the other Torx bolt and the 13 Torx screws that hold the whole lot together. The next step is to bolt the legs back on. Sometimes the bolts will screw into the plastic instead of the metal, so be careful at this point. Plug both control panel connectors back in the right way round, then clip it on and fit the 4 screws. The last 6 screws hold the top on and you're done. That's how you replace the blade, step by step. I hope somebody out there finds this useful. Thank you for watching.